Okay, in problem 2, we have a function that is an exponential type function. On the interval from 0 to 10, we need to make a graph. So I'm going to start off with going from 0 to 10 will be my right endpoint. I'm going to plot 40 points again. And then my step would be parentheses, right endpoint, subtract, get the left endpoint, close parentheses, that's the numerator, divided by whatever the number of points is. So I'll be stepping by 0.25, and then my first x should be my left endpoint. From there on, I'll take the previous point and add the value of the step. Make sure you lock the step reference. Then you can copy this down till you get to the end, which should be at 10. There we go. Okay, then for my function, 14.25 times, get the x value, times 0.35, raised to the, get the x value again, subtract 1.1. Copy that down. And now we'll take those two columns and insert a chart. And I'm going to change my marker style again. Format the data series, go to the fill bucket. There's the marker options built in, but just make them a smaller size. Okay, it looks like our graph looks most like graph number 2. Find roots of the function. Looks like I've got 2 of them, a left root and a right root. So I'll do the root 1 and root 2. When I have an x value and an f of x value, I can type in the equation again, or I can just go and copy what I did, because this cell is based off the cell to the left. And if I come and I paste it in down here, it'll be based off the cell to the left. So if I make this a 2, then my function will update. Okay, so my first root is somewhere close to 0. So I'm going to put in 0. And then I'll bring up solver. Set my objective function to a value of 0 by changing the corresponding x value. That should be my first root. Now let me do this again. Okay. Copy this formula down. And then my next value, and again, an empty cell is being treated like a 0. So it thinks it's evaluating at 0 when you have an empty cell. For my other root, it's somewhere around 3. And then using this line, I'm going to pull up solver again. Set. And notice when I pulled it up that it was still at the dotted lines around my previous cell, because solver will keep the last instruction that you gave it. So you need to update that cell to a value of 0 by changing, that's this cell. Solve. Okay. So my root should be at 0.08, and copy and paste this in. Okay, find a relative maximum and relative minimum. So the relative max is here. It looks like it occurs at about 1. So let me make this one a relative max. And then using this row, I'll use solver again. Change the objective function. Click on the cell that you want to find the max of to a max by changing. I'm going to highlight that and replace and solve. 0.95254, copy and paste that in. Local minimums, I can tell from the graph, there's a local min at my starting point because it just keeps going down. That would be the lowest point. And then here, also at 10. So at 0 and 10, I have two different local minimum. Find the absolute max. Well, the absolute max is at that point, which is here. Now the absolute min, I need to know which one of these is the smallest. So let's evaluate that. So the left endpoint and the right endpoint. Left endpoint is 0. It's a value of negative 1.1. Right endpoint is 10. Ooh, which is close, but negative 1.09. Negative 1.1 is smaller. So my absolute minimum should be at 0.